All right, I got a banger for you. I'm gonna tell you a story about a guy who had what can only be described as by far the most stressful day at work in the history of employment. Are you ready? Buckle up. Story time. Now, let me set the stage. It's 1983 and the Cold War is at its absolute peak. Both sides, the United States and the Soviet Union, have elaborate systems of radars and satellites, and their only purpose is to detect when the other side launches nukes so they can respond. Now, Anton Petrov is a lieutenant colonel of the Soviet army, and he's stationed right outside of Moscow in one of the command centers. They're supposed to be receiving data from these radars and satellites and monitor if there's a launch or not. Now, on September 26th, this is exactly what happens. The computer indicates that there's a launch of 5 missiles from the United States heading towards the Soviet Union, and he needs to make the call. Now, the system indicated launch of 5 rockets, and what he was supposed to do as a standard procedure is to pick up the phone, let his superior know about this, and then they are supposed to call their superior, who are then supposed to approve or disapprove the nuclear counterattack, which means that at that point, the world will probably be in a full-on nuclear obliteration. Now, he is fully aware of this, and the next thing that he does can only be described as the coldest thing that you can possibly do, and that is absolutely nothing. He simply logged this incident as an error, a glitch in the system. He passed this on to his superiors later, and that was it. But can you possibly imagine what was going through his head in those few minutes after he made that decision? Because if he was wrong, the results will be obvious very, very soon, and they'll be very, very bad. Now, spoiler alert, he was right, and it was indeed a mistake. And here's what actually happened. See, right over the Dakotas in the United States, there was a very specific phenomena and very specific reflection of the sunlight off the rain clouds. So the satellites got confused and they identified this as a missile launch. Now, Petrov later explained that the reason why he was so confident that this was a mistake and a glitch is because he was taught in school that if this ever happens, if the United States ever attacks, it wouldn't be with 5 rockets, it would be with an overwhelming force of hundreds of rockets, of which some would be real nuclear capable rockets, but others will be just decoys. Now, although he obviously saved the world, he was actually reprimanded for this because on a technical level, he didn't do his job properly, but the whole thing was kept as a secret well after the Soviet Union collapsed. And eventually, when it was made public, he received multiple awards for peace and for basically being a hero who saved us all. So whatever you have going on at your job, trust me, it ain't that bad. Anyways, have a great rest of the day. And if you want to hear more from me, like, share, follow, subscribe, because every now and then I say something smart.